So we have a lot to talk about.
Good for the stars, you may land on the moon. Step by step, you just have to move. Sooner or later, it's now or never. Sooner or later, now or never.
So I've been talking for the past few videos now that I had an upcoming meeting with the people that I'm going to be doing SkillBridge with. That meeting has happened. And it wasn't much of a meeting as it was an interview. I didn't know that going in. I had a pre-meeting with my liaison for the company, and they told me that, surprise, it was an interview. Knowing that led to me snowballing, trying to plan for how to practice interviewing. I've never interviewed before. I joined the military straight out of high school. So I had to meet with the Hire Heroes people, as well as the employment navigators that my base hires. And employment navigators ended up getting back to me, but they didn't have anybody available in person for me to go practice interviews with. So I had to virtually practice, which kind of worked out because the interview I was doing was virtual anyway. And I scheduled several of those leading up to the actual interview with the company. The practice interviews went really well. I didn't practice for the practice at all, but I feel like it went well. I wasn't too nervous about it. I was able to just talk about my experience and my job, and we went over probably 150, 200 practice interview questions over the course of 2 hours, and come interview time, they asked me 3. So definitely overdid it a little bit, but that's just kind of how I do things, and I like the fact that we overdid it a little bit. My advice, if I was doing this, my advice to myself, if I was going to do this again in the future, would be to definitely do this more in advance. I did this literally 4 days before the actual interview. I didn't find out about the interview though until the day before I had the practice. I should have expected it was going to be an interview, but I was expecting more of a meet and greet because that's what my previous liaison had.
Why did you react? I was being so still. I didn't even tug.
You were as stealthy as Drax was eating that bag of potato chips. This was you trying to be stealthy. What was I talking about before you started laughing so hard you had to fan your armpits? I literally don't know. Do you remember? I literally don't remember what I was talking about before that. We're gonna move on. If I remember later, I will just interject.
Solid.
More to come with the whole SkillBridge process. They're supposed to be now sending me my actual training plan of what I'm going to be doing. Apparently, instead of just working for one section, they're going to try and split my time evenly between every section in their organization to kind of get me more wholesome experience as opposed to such a narrow focus. But yeah, I have no idea what I was talking about. So do you want to just talk now?
With that being said, maybe
Okay.
this will help you with jogging of the memory. Maybe not. Other than you were teasing me about being Drax. Anyways. But with that being said, you've shared some of your advice on your end of the meetings from being at home. your experience and advice for in the future for anybody else going through it or whatever. And on my end, as the spouse in the house with the kids, my advice would be that even if you think it's a short, quick meeting, and it's not going to take long, you should totally get out of the house with the kids. Take the kids and get out of the house, because while he was doing that 2-hour-long meeting in our dining room, the 2 kids and I were in a bedroom trying to be quiet so we wouldn't be picked up on the microphones. And I'm not quite sure we did that great of a job, but we did do decently well. And we did this for both sets of meetings. It was not fun or easy. Kids got real bored and antsy. We had dentist appointments this week with our kids. Our oldest, they said that her teeth are really great. She has no cavities. Her teeth have basically no plaque. They said she's got really good oral hygiene for a kid, and that she's got better oral hygiene than they have seen some adults come in with.
Which is it's contrary to what it was at her last appointment. I think at her last appointment they said that she had 2 or 3 cavities that were trying to form.
No, that was her. Then they need to put her back molars. They had to put some sort of a substance on them because they said that her bite was so hard that she was causing indents in the back teeth. So they put a filler buffer solution to kind of build it back up. However, our son has not yet been able to get x-rays done. He does not like that little teeth bite, the mouth bite things that they get it in the right spot every time, and they're like, now all you gotta do is just close your mouth and hold it there, and he'll go to do it, and then they're like, no, don't move it with your tongue, don't move it. He pushes it with his tongue, I guess. While doing his cleaning, they discovered that one of his bottom front teeth, his adult tooth, has fully erupted behind his baby tooth.
It's just one?
No, it's one, but the other one's coming in. She called it a shark tooth.
So, like most of the Midwest these past weeks, we got hit by a pretty crazy snowstorm.
The van has a mower.
I think we got 6 to 8 inches of snow over the course of a few hours, and the kids loved it.
I'm gonna touch this house!
They've never been sledding before.
Never.
Even though we had the bomb cyclone in Colorado that probably gave us the most amount of snow we've ever seen. They were too young to be able to enjoy most of it. So I was just going out and flopping over. Although they did a lot of flopping this time too. But they got to do sledding for the first time. That was awesome. I didn't get to see it because I wasn't here. But I did get to see the video of it, and so will you.
You good? You sure? Now go.
But the snow quickly turned to ice, which froze everything over. So I wasn't able to go to work for a few days, which was good. And then that ice turned to water, which turned to mud. So now everything's muddy, and we're about to get to the mid 70s in the next few days. I don't understand. I will never understand this state's weather. It's very up and down and all over the place. With the warmer weather, maybe we'll be able to get outside some before it gets cold again. If it gets cold again, I'm hoping it does, because if it doesn't, it's not going to kill off any of the ticks. I'm okay.
So our homeschool co-op meetings have been going pretty well. The kids involved have all been super enthusiastic about it and are learning some great sewing skills. All the projects that have been done have been super successful and awesome to see all the different age groups and levels making things. They've made stuffed animals, as simple as they were, but they were still like a stuffed animal, kind of like almost more like a Squishmallow style stuffed animal. They made pencil case holders, and currently they're working on a multi-day step-by-step process of making their own totes. They're gonna make their own little bags, but the bags are gonna hopefully be done in the next week or two, because I mean everything's basically pre-cut now. Now it just has to come down to all the kids sharing a handful of sewing machines. There's I think 5 sewing machines and like 15, 16 kids, so it's gonna take a little while. At our local library, once again, we are super involved with that. We've been going for over a year for the homeschool days every Thursday.
Librarian actually knows our kids better than some of our family members.
One of the librarians there specifically has been reading books to our kids since we moved here. So she has watched them both grow up for the last 4 years. We did with our library at our homeschool meeting yarn weaving. So the kids were able to take pre-cut out cardboard boxes with strings, and it was basically like making a weaving loom but with cardboard, and they made little things. So that's actually what our kids did during one of his meetings, was actually yarn weaving on the bed. For Christmas, our son got a coding and robotics kit.
We've talked about it before. It's pretty cool.
And he's been having a lot of fun with that one recently. So it's all these little mats, and they've all, if you look really close at it, you can see little black dots just covering the whole thing, like microscopic, so small. It hurts to try and see. And that's all the coatings, and he's got a robot piece that goes on. So like the coding key, you gotta lay it out, give all the directions, how many spaces, whether you want it to turn, move around and dance, get upset and frustrated, whatever it is. It reads that, and then you put it on the actual map coding cards, and as long as the map coding cards are set up in the exact order and sequence as the coding key cards, after it reads them, it will run the map the same way that the coding key cards are organized to, and he's had a lot of fun with that.
So I know there's been a bit of a delay. Videos aren't coming every week, but this season of life for us is just crazy. We're trying to get out videos as often as we can. I'm in 2 classes right now, working 5 13-hour days, 13 to 14-hour days, and then I'm doing all this stuff on the side with the internship coming up. But as we have important information to share, we're going to be getting videos out. Hopefully they're still every week. I really hope that we can do that. We got a 4-day weekend coming up, so we can definitely get one out next week. But at the very least, they're going to be every other week. I think the last one was about 2 weeks ago. So keep looking out for more videos to come. And we've also got a road trip coming up. That road trip is going to be super important for us. It's a week long, but only 3 days of it are actually spent in Colorado. And those 3 days are pretty much filled with stuff that we need to get done.
If you would like to follow along with our journey, or think that any of this information applies to you or could benefit you and your family, go ahead and give us a like, comment, subscribe, let us know where you're watching from, and feel free to ask any questions and we'll see what we can do about answering them.
Thank you for watching. I know there's not many of you, but the ones that do watch, we really do appreciate it. It keeps us going a little bit. With that being said, we'll catch you in the next video, which should be next week.
Bye.